Hello friends, welcome to Prefacts Corners discussion. In this video lecture series, we are going to cover important topics of 19th June 2020. The topics are Kodumanal Megalithic Burial Site, Rule of Law Index, Global Trends Report, Civil Service Board, and Galvan River Valley. First important topic of this discussion is Kodumanal. Recently, the excavations at Kodumanal village have thrown light on burial rituals and the concept of afterlife in the megalithic culture. The Kodumunal is a village located in the Erode district of Tamil Nadu. It is located on the northern banks of Noyal River, which is a tributary of Kaveri. It was once a flourishing ancient trade city known as Kodumanam, as inscribed in Pati Trupathu of Sangam literature. About Sangam literature. The period roughly between 3rd century BC and 3rd century AD in South India. The area lying to the south of river Krishna and Tungabhadra is known as the Sangam period. It has been named after the Sangam academies held during that period that flourished under the royal patronage of the Pandya kings of Madurai. According to the Tamil legends, there were three Sangams Academy of Tamil Poets held. The first Sangam is believed to be held in Madurai. The second Sangam was held at Kapada Puram only. Tolka PM, considered the earliest of Tamil literature, survives from this. The third Sangam was also held at Madurai. The megalithic culture is a large prehistoric stone culture that lasted from the Neolithic Stone Age to the early historical period across the world. In India, archaeologists trace the majority of the megaliths to the Iron Age, though some sites precede the Iron Age extending up to 2000 BC. The megalithic culture spread across the peninsular India, concentrated in the states of Maharashtra, mainly in Vidarbha, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. They were constructed as burial sites or as commemorative memorials. These are actual burial remains such as dolmenoid cysts, Cain circles, and cave stones, which are distinctive mushroom shaped burial chambers found mainly in Kerala. Next article is on Rule of Law Index. Recently, the Supreme Court has ordered the government to treat a writ petition for setting up expert panels to boost India's prospects in the Rule of Law Index. India is ranked 69th among 128 countries in the latest 2020 Rule of Law Index. What is the Rule of Law Index? It is a quantitative assessment tool by the World Justice Project that is designed to offer a detailed and comprehensive picture of the extent to which countries adhere to the rule of law in practice. It measures countries' rule of law performance across 8 parameters or 8 factors. They are constraints in government powers, absence of corruption, open government, fundamental rights, order and security, regulatory enforcement, civil justice, and criminal justice. Definition of rule of law. The World Justice Project defines the rule of law system as one in which the following four universal principles are upheld. They are: the government and its officials and agents are accountable under the law. The laws are clear, publicized, stable, and fair, and protect fundamental rights, including the security of persons and property. The process by which the laws are enacted, administered, and enforced is accessible, efficient, and fair. Justice is delivered by competent, ethical, and independent representatives and neutrals who are of sufficient number, have adequate resources, and reflect the makeup of the communities they serve. So these are the four universal principles of rule of law system as defined by the World Justice Project. Next important article is on Global Trends Report. Recently, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has released its annual Global Trends Report before the World Refugees Days, that is celebrated on 28th June. We will discuss some of the key highlights of the report that will be beneficial for mains paper. The key highlights are nearly 80 million people were forcibly displaced by the end of 2019, which is nearly 1% of the global population. Of the 80 million people, 26 million were cross border refugees, 45.7 million were internally displaced people, 4.2 million were asylum seekers, and 3.6 million were Venezuelans displaced abroad. More than 8 of every 10 refugees are in developing countries, generally a country neighboring the one they fled. 5 countries account for two-thirds of the people displaced across borders. They are Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Myanmar. 1 in every 97 people were affected by forced displacement in 2019, as compared to 1 in every 159 people in 2010 and in 1 in every 174 in 2005. Nearly to 40% of those displaced forcibly between 2010 to 19 include children below 18 years of age. Next article is on Civil Service Board. Recently, Punjab government has notified that Civil Service Board providing for a fixed tenure of IAS officers has left its leaders in the state upset. About Civil Service Board. To put an end to frequent transfers of civil servants, the Supreme Court in 2013 had directed to both the center and the states to set up a civil service board. The board is mandated to decide on the transfer of civil servant before completion of his or her fixed tenure. The board will be headed by Chief Secretary with Personal Secretary and either Finance Commissioner or Home Secretary as its members. The board provides for the state to follow center's guidelines on giving a fixed tenure of at least 2 years for cadre officers. The civil servants cannot be transferred before that, and if anyone recommends their transfer, then the board will examine and effect it. The final authority of the Civil Service Board is the Chief Minister. Next article is on Galvan River Valley. Recently, there was a violent face-off between the army troops of India and China in the Galvan Valley, which is situated in the eastern Ladakh region. The Galvan River is the highest ridgeline and it allows the Chinese to dominate the Sioux route passes, which is close to the river. Chinese are keen on controlling this area as they fear that the Indian side could end up threatening their position on the Aksai Chin Plateau by using the Galvan River Valley. India is trying to construct a feeder road emanating from Darbuk Shiok village, Daulat Beg Old Eye Road. This road runs along the Sioux River and is the most critical line of communications close to the line of actual control. Based on satellite imagery, the Chinese had built a road until the middle point of the Galvan Valley by 2016, and since then they have managed to extend this to some point closer to the LAC in the sector. Last important article of this discussion is MESAS. Recently, satellite MESAS has sent light particles to Earth to establish the world's most secure communication link. MESAS is the world's first quantum communication satellite, which was launched by China in the year 2016. The satellite serves as a source of pairs of entangled photons. What are entangled photons? They are twinned light particles whose properties remain intertwined no matter how far apart they are. If one of the photons is manipulated, the other will be similarly affected at the very same moment. It is this property that lies in the heart of the most secure forms of quantum cryptography. If one of the entangled particles is used to create a key for encoding messages, only the person with the other particle can decode them. Quick revision of the discussion. The excavations at Kodumanal village have thrown light on burial rituals and the concept of afterlife in megalithic culture. Kodumanal is a village located in the Erode district in the state of Tamil Nadu. Global Trends Report is an annual publication of United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Civil Service Board will be headed by a Chief Secretary of the state and the final authority is the Chief Minister. The board is mandated to decide on the transfer of a civil servant before completion of his or her fixed tenure. Galvan River Valley runs westward from its origin in Karakoram Range through Aksai Chin and East Ladakh to join the Siok River, which is a significant tributary of Indus. Mischius is the world's first quantum communication satellite launched by China in the year 2016. Thank you for watching.